If you're a man, you're in the right place. And if you're not a man, you're also in the right place to send this to a man in your life. So, welcome to this episode of the Boys Don't Cry podcast. My name is Jason Owen.
My name is Jerry Jacob Udosed.
Today we are going to be talking about men's mental health and how it affects the all-round well-being of a man, right, Jerry?
Absolutely.
What do you have to say about this topic today, my brother?
So it is very important that as men we have these conversations because growing up, these were conversations that we didn't get to have.
True.
And by some level of privilege and growth and experience, we have gotten to know a bit about all of these things. And that's why this podcast is very important.
True.
Not just for men alone, like just as you have said, for women as well. It is also a right place to be, so you can also share this to somebody, not just anybody, a man.
I mean, it's very important. And I think women also need to hear things like this so that they can be able to relate with their man when they are going through like some of these challenges, because I think that is one of the very important aspects of relationship, because men don't feel understood when they share.
Actually,
and when you share and somebody does not understand, you're not encouraged to share more, so they tend to hold it back. I have this stat here that says that out of every 3 Nigerian men, one of them is struggling silently. Maybe finances, maybe relationship, maybe societal pressure, black tax, and all of this. Jerry, are you struggling currently?
By the grace of God, I'm not struggling anymore. I used to, but
Okay.
by like I said, by the grace of God, I'm not anymore. And just like how you have said it is very important that in relationship as well, that women get to, listen to all of this, because as men, we don't break loudly. We break in silence.
Word.
And so the world sees silence as strength. But the mistake is that that's not strength. That's just a man who has learned to deal with suffering in silence.
True.
And so women need to also listen to conversations like this. Now, picture a man who, wakes up in the morning, greets everybody, dresses up nicely, goes to work, comes back. He's the energy at the office. He's everything you are. But when he comes back home into his house, takes off his clothes, stands in the mirror, he sees the weight. Nobody else sees that. Not even the world.
True.
So he's the only one who sees all of that. And that is when, it just dawns on him that, this is what I'm really going through. But the world will see that he's a very strong man.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show you that men are usually their healthiest when they are going through stuff. Yeah, because, for instance now, as a guy, if you're going through stuff, it's not going to be written all over your face. You try to max it.
Yeah.
You try to max it with smile, whatever, and all of that stuff. And so by doing that, you've just built a coping mechanism, which is absolutely wrong.
True. And the more you get to live like that, it becomes a normal thing for you, becomes a pattern. It's very, very loud what you said, that men don't break loudly. You just did drop punchline. Also said that men said that men are their healthiest when they are going through stuff.
Yeah.
And you go be like, say their skin go on, they glow. They be like I was speaking with a friend some time ago, and he mentioned something that Nigerian men are 3 times less likely to seek help than women. I
absolutely agree with that, because first things first, society. We've been conditioned that way, that as a guy, you're not even. Let's talk about it from our own angle as guys.
Yeah.
Like bro to bro, when you talk to your fellow guy, after bro, sweet and it's this up. Like, my bro, now everybody they go through that kind of thing.
Everything go there all right. Last.
Everybody they go through that kind of thing. You understand?
Yeah.
I'm telling you what I'm going through. I'm not asking you to tell me that everybody's going through it.
True.
You understand?
True.
And then when you talk to adults as well, and you tell them, "Oh, this is what I'm going to." Come on, you're a man now. Man up.
Deal with it.
You get. And then getting to the point where you now open up to a lady, or let's just say
Your
your
lady.
partner. And I was like, come on, baby, you're being dramatic. And for
Yeah.
men, once we try to be vulnerable and tell you what we are going through, and you give us, we just shut up.
Yes,
We just shut up, and then we
true,
just
true.
deal with whatever we are dealing with. And so that is why I agree with that statement. We know in fact, Nigerian men would not.
Would rather drown.
I would drown in that, but it's wrong.
It's very wrong. And I feel like I also agree to an extent, because I think that men, there is this thing that we do with each other, especially Nigerian men, the ones that I know. Like, for instance, now I come to you, Omo work today, rather I complain to you about how my day has been so terrible, and then you come like, Omo, even me self, like, I'm not trying to get us to compete on who's suffering more, but it's like you're trying to compare your own suffering with mine, so that belittles what I'm going through, because you're trying to spotlight your own to make me see that the one I'm going through is even little compared to the one that you're dealing with. So I think that it doesn't make sense, because I think it's more recently that I learned that asking for help it takes a lot of strength and courage to ask for help.
It is actually strength,
because
it is actually strength.
Anyways, I read something that for men, the emotional vocabulary ends at the age of 10. Like anything that has to do with feeling soft and all those emotional things, that ends at the age of 10, because from that period, life starts giving you adult problems, and they expect it to show up at a certain level. And for some people who maybe for some reason they didn't like have the opportunity to grow up with a father figure, or maybe guardians, and they had to start fending for themselves early. It's a lot. Even those who grew up with father figures, I think some of the father figures, because of trauma, would at a very early age start telling the boy like, oh, you're the man of the house, stop crying like a girl, or why are you behaving like a woman, when they are trying to be vulnerable.
So I'm going to give you an instance as to this, because just like what you said, I kind of agree with that statement, like
the emotional
after 10
vocabulary
and all of that, because I'm going to use myself as an example. So growing up, I don't know, it just happened, and at some age I just assumed responsibility. Nobody put anything on me, or nobody's telling me go and hustle and bring, nobody. I just assumed responsibility, and it just stuck with me from a very young age. And I was just, would I say it was pressure on myself? I was putting pressure on myself, and you know, it lingered for a very long time, because I had to really sit down. I think when I got much older, and like, but bro, nobody's asking you to do anything.
Tell you, make you do all this.
Do you understand? Nobody's saying. So there again, it's because of what society. I saw what men were doing around. I was like, okay, so this is what a man is supposed to do, you know, which is wrong. But as at that age, it was very wrong for me to have just, you know, wired my brain to work that way. That man, I need to do this. I need to do all of that. So yeah, society is always key in all of
growing up, my mom is a nurse, so she would also like make stuff like soya milk, and she would pack it for me when I'm going to school. So like during the breaks, when my mates are playing outside, I would be selling soya milk to them. And so I used to tell people, like, when people ask me, when I try to play, and they're like, oh, you know play when you're so, I'm like, yes, so let me start on that. But then if I didn't finish it during school hours, after school, next stop inside market to finish it up. So that kind of wired me somehow, because when you ask me like, when did I stop living with my parents, I can't even remember. When did I start really depending on my parents, because I remember that the first phone that I ever bought, I bought it for myself. The second phone, like, I think it's just once that someone has given me a phone, and that was in 2023. Somebody I was working for just decided that, oh, let me send you a phone. Like that kind of conditioned my mind from that moment onwards, when I finished secondary school, I came back, I looked for something. I was, I think it was Tianchi. I don't know how many people who know Tianchi tea.
That tea there.
I used to boil Tianchi tea and carry it on my head in one cooler and sell inside different villages in my state.
Wow.
I discovered villages. If it was the time of Mungo Park, they would name somewhere after me. But then, yeah, that kind of wired me to just think that, that thing that they say that no one is coming to save
you.
Even throughout university, I had to learn different skills to power through. And that sort of made me block out some certain emotions like dependency. Even depending on someone emotionally, I always feel like I can handle everything. And I was telling this thing to talk about emotional dependency, because when you have powered through life trying to provide for yourself, and you know that if you begin to understand or believe that no one is coming to save you, you're a man, you are a self-made man. I think that's what we call it in our generation. But then we also know that no one is an island on their own. Yeah.
So, firstly, men do not need a world that tells them to man up.
True.
We need a world that encourages us to open up. Now, just like your story you shared, having to go through all of that stuff, do all of those things at that age, man, you feel like at this point, if I can do this, if I can make this amount of money, bro, like, do I really need anybody? No. And it is wrong, because as men, normally, and you get into a relationship. Let me use relationship for instance. You get into a relationship. This is somebody you're doing life with. Let's just say you're doing life with. Bro, you have to be to a certain, in fact, you have to be vulnerable to that person. You have to be to a certain level emotionally dependent on them, because they are your partner. And it's vice versa. It's not just like one-sided. No, one-sided. So we need to do extra work as men, because your story you shared, I mean, it's similar to like so many young men out there, like having to figure out, do these stuff and then, there's this saying, once you make money, everything is just
everything done.
I don't set for life. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you have to still, work on yourself, do a lot of work, and it now boils down to who do you open up to? You can't just open up to anybody just because, I've been this way for a very long time, and then I just want to
pour out.
You understand? No. There are people you pour out on Insta blog, X, and all of that. So we have to also look for safe spaces, to be able to talk to people, and people that genuinely care about us. You understand? Genuinely care about, and that's the importance of what brotherhood. That's the importance of like podcasts like this, because we're going to be talking about issues like this and how to be able to address all of these issues. And so it's if a man doesn't work on himself, bro, you're going to have issues, both alone and then with your partner, because it's just going to, mental health is not just how you feel all by yourself. Every aspect of your life, psychologically, emotionally, it even boils down to the spiritual aspect as well. And so it is going to affect a whole lot of areas in your life. And so you need to work on those areas, because if you don't work on it, bro, you're just going to be pouring out on the next person that comes into your life, be it as a guy or as a lady. So we really need to work on that aspect of our lives so as to have, smooth relationship with our partners and even with guys as well.
True. So I have this question because I had someone share their experience with me. He was telling me that whenever his siblings try to reach out to him, he just knows it's money. Do you understand? Like, and they now decided to, at some point, they changed the pattern because they knew he already understood there. So they'll now come, maybe 1 week to payday. They'll now, oh, hello, brother, how are you? How is work? And then once he tries to like relax and just see them as siblings, squad that they are, they will now drop the bill. I'll be like, here we go again. So how do you think men should handle issues like this?
Being in a situation where it's only when they need billing and they need something, they come to you and I feel like it can be addressed. And what I mean is, they're your siblings. You can talk to them. Alpha, Ikena, this thing you are doing is not nice. You cannot just reach out to me anytime you need money. I know that I am your brother. I know that by the grace of God, I've been privileged to be in this level to be able to help. But Ikena, once in a while, call your bros, ask your bros, how they be?
Yeah.
Do you understand? And all that. So they might not necessarily have to do it all the time.
Yeah.
You know that I will still send them money.
Yeah.
But then just putting it out there that, you know, reach out to me, check up on me, even if you know that I'm the one who's sending you the funds, and then what just connects us is just the money aside blood. Check up on me as well. So if they have sense, they know that, okay, yeah, at least. And if they don't have sense, then you know what measures to take.
Yeah.
Understand? I know somebody that at some point he even stopped sending money. So like, bro, like OG, like at some point he stopped. Like, you know what, go and learn something. That's what he did. Instead of sending you the money, like, go and learn something. You understand?
I think that's where I got to that point with my siblings. It got to a point where I said, like, our last born, she would come. She will bill you for hair. She'll bill you for cream. Bill you for soap. She wants to buy socks. She will bill you for it. She's in university. It got to a point, I'm like, first of all, if you can't afford the cream, don't use it. Use the one that you can afford, because you're not working. So you can't start using a 15,000 naira cream and you're depending on my salary to pay for your cream. Your body, it doesn't make sense. If you want to if you have taste like that, get a job and taste what it feels like to make money.
To make money.
Do you understand? So I got to that point. I told her, okay, what do you want to learn a skill? Find something, I'll pay for you to learn. Do you understand? And I mean, that reduced that whole drama. So I mean, it still all boils down to like how you present the conversation and how they receive it and how you follow up entirely. Now, very important for us to talk about is how men can understand the symptoms of depression, because I feel like we take it like every other normal work day stress. So men just feel like, oh, I just tire. But you realize that you're running on fumes and it will take a while for you to come out of that phase.
Just like what you said, men don't really understand it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no how you want to explain it to them, like, that they might get it straight up. Because to them, like you said, bro, I just tire. Bro, let's hang out. I just tired.
Yeah, I know they feel like
but
they pain me.
Do you understand? And then the next day you see them, like, the energy level is up again, and all of that. And then to him he feels like I'm good. I'm fine today. You know what? I'm good. But that's the importance of community, a gathering of like-minded people. I would always say believers as well, because we can talk and all of that, but we also need the spiritual aspect of it. People that can call you together and pray about it and see, like, you know what, bro, I sense that you're not feeling good. And the thing about us is we might want to, downplay it and be like, no, I did all right. But the moment you have a word that is spot on, that is when it hits, and then you just see him just like, bro, I've been going through a lot. You understand? And you might not be able to solve the issue. You understand? But the fact that he has spoken up, the fact that if we speak, you understand, somebody listens, and it just helps at that point. So a community is very important in addressing these issues, helps you. You might not recognize it, you understand? Like you said, it's just going to be your normal day. I commute to work 9 to 5 every day. It's stressful. It goes beyond that. You understand? And so when people, your community of friends, like-minded people, spot it out on you and like, this is why I see, bro, like, this is really it. And they'll be like, okay, yeah, that's true. So community is key in sorting out issues like that.
I actually believe that community is key, because sometime late last year or earlier this year, I have this friend. We don't even talk that much, but we're friends. We talk from, he's like a brother to me. So one morning, I had finished praying and then I slept again. Just for like a few minutes, and then I saw a trance. So I knew that something was not all right with him. I saw in the trance, I saw his wife bleeding. His wife was pregnant. So I picked up my phone and called him immediately. Called him several, he did not pick up. Hours later, he reached out to me that, oh, bro, sorry, sir, I know Pico. My wife been day hospital, she been day bleed. So imagine that you don't have people like that in your circle that can see you in the spirit and can that feel connected to you in that way. Because as soon as I saw that, I called, he didn't pick up. I prayed about it. I prayed. I knew I had to pray. Prayed a lot, and by the grace of God, his wife delivered safely, and their baby boy is bouncing, like really bouncing, not in the bouncing castle, bouncing through life. But yeah, so community is very, very important, and they can always uphold you in different ways. Different ways. For men, how do you spot those suicidal tendencies when a man or your guy is depressed and is going through it and just feels like ending it all?
It is very difficult to actually spot, even though we know, I mean, for those that don't know, there's the statistics, men are more likely to commit suicide than women. And even in the US, I think they said men die of suicide 3.8 times more than women. So you said something, for men who've learned how to like show up, you know, the way people will see us. And then when you hear stories like, oh, this person is dead, and they'll be like, he didn't even look like he was going through anything, you know. And he was laughing with us yesterday. Like he even encouraged somebody yesterday. For men, we've mastered the art of suffering in silence. So there was this football clip commercial. I think it's for men's mental health.
Brighton.
I think it was Brighton.
Yes, it was Brighton. I saw it last.
He was always showing up. He was watching football and all of that. Everybody thought like he was good. Nobody was checking up on him, but he was checking up on others. Remember, I said earlier that men are always their healthiest when they are going through a lot. Now, it doesn't mean that, he's healthy like feeble. You see him showing up actively, happy and all of that. But it goes back to the closet. He's just that one lonely guy. You understand? So one of the ways that I feel like you could also spot men who are going through a lot is withdrawal. Withdrawal. So, you invite him for events, bro. Oh man, I'm just tired. I don't want to. It's that as a man, when you gradually isolate yourself, there's a difference between solitude and isolation. So when you gradually isolate yourself from the things that once give you joy, maybe you find engaging, and then you just get to a point where you don't even want to do those things anymore. That is a point of concern. That is a point of concern. There's somebody I know, see, very great guy, like chilled, always there for people, and he's just the most liveliest guy you could ever think of. Do you understand? And some days back, real life story, he told me that he thought of committing suicide. I'm like,
shoot,
bro, waiting this
up.
You thought of committing? Like, he had that thought. Like, he had suicidal thoughts, but he had to like speak to somebody, and then they prayed about it. He's fine now, you know. So the moment you begin to withdraw, you see a man withdrawing, and then, I mean, guy, let's watch football, let's hang out, let's go to this event, let's go to church event, and I'm like, no, I'm tired. It's a point for concern. Withdrawal in men is actually a point. It's one of those ways you can actually spot that something's actually wrong with this, my guy.
I think this is very important, because with that withdrawal thing, all of a sudden, like, nothing becomes interesting anymore. Things that used to give you joy. One of the points that you mentioned was loneliness. Some men don't even know when they are lonely.
True.
There was this guy, he went to the stadium to watch football with his guy. While they were going to the stadium, the guy was like, his friend was like, oh, how are you feeling? Like, oh, I'm nervous, and blah, 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 blah. I was like, oh, that's good, because, I mean, it's football, so you'll be nervous. You don't know who's going to win and all of that. Or the guy was like, okay, let's get some chips and all of that. You're like, nah, I'm all right, bro. I was like, no, you always get chips. You get to... It was like, nah, I'm okay for today. So they go inside and they are watching football while everyone else is raving like, come on, kick that ball. Those banter used to be, guy, why they play that nonsense? Pass the ball. He was busy. What he was screaming was like, he was like just venting, like, can nobody see me? Can't you see what I'm going through? Nobody hears me. Nobody sees me. So, and everybody, they were talking about football, but he was venting. I mean, that's the clip, right? But when they were done, And then they were on their way home, and they bade each other farewell. His friend was like, "Bro, are you okay?" It's like, thought about it for a second. Like, yeah, I'm good. It was like, nah. I mean, you can talk to me, right? So the way the guy approached him, and I think that was where the video ended. It made him, like, you could see that he was coming to terms with the fact that I think I can open up to this person. And one of the things that leads to suicide in men is that feeling of loneliness and hopelessness. Because you begin to feel like, there's no way I can come out of this. Like, for some people now that who have for some reason or the other gone into like gambling addiction, and they've fallen into debt. Like, say for instance, your job pays you 200k a month and you're owing 20 million in debt.
Ooh.
Bro, that's you've loaned out your life because you're going to work for your
maxed out.
So, like, where is the hope? How are you going to come out of that? For people like that, they don't necessarily have people in their immediate circle they can talk to.
Yeah.
Do you understand? I want to know, have you ever felt lonely, even maybe say while in a relationship or while like hanging out with people, you felt like, I actually day alone? No?
Yeah.
Can you relate to that feeling?
Yeah, just to put me on the spot. But yeah, so you said something that I wanted to also talk about. You raised it in that video. You said everybody else was watching the game.
Yeah.
And this particular guy was like, can't nobody see me? And I think that's one of the things that men want. Do you understand? We want to be seen without having to ask for it.
And without expectations.
Without expectations. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Take, for instance, a guy, you're a hard worker, you do a whole lot of things, you have responsibilities, you understand? You take pride in doing all of those things. You're not mad at it, you understand? But for once, you just want somebody to say, you know what, I see what you're doing great.
Yeah.
For men, it means a lot to us. Most people don't even understand that. It goes a long way, even more than giving us money. The fact that we have people that see us, you understand, and say, okay, you know what, I see what you're doing, well done. And don't get me wrong, it's not that we want to the praises and all of that. No, we just want recognition. You know, sometimes, like, I see you, bro, I see what you're doing, and I see that you're doing a lot. It goes a long way for a man.
True.
It goes a long way. And even as a single guy, and even in relationships, you know, having a partner that doesn't, you know, see the effort you put into so many things, bro, that's it. It's going to, like, and then, like, maybe you do something and be like, okay. Okay. No. But yeah, so I think for guys, at some point in our life, a lot of us have felt that way. I have felt that way too, I'm not going to lie, because at some point I felt like I was doing too much, and not in relationship anyways. I felt like I was doing too much, and then I just, like, all of these things I'm doing, isn't anybody seeing it? Do you understand? Isn't anybody seeing all of this? You get what I'm saying? So yeah, we also need people to also, you know, see us, you know, tell us, oh, you're doing great, you're doing good. I mean, for women, you can, they can tell you the 5 love languages and all of that.
I was going to ask you, what was your love language?
They can tell you the 5 love languages and all of that. For men, it's the little things for us. Do you understand? It's the little things. Oh, babe, I see what you're doing. Yeah. I think I'm overemphasizing on this thing.
So there's this clip that went viral about a guy talking about him being ignored as a new father.
Yeah.
His wife gave birth and everybody...
I think it was Maraji.
Yeah, Maraji commented on it, but other people also commented on it.
Oh, so, yeah, how is the mother and the child?
Yeah, so everybody's looking after
the mother
and child.
And nobody's asking sleep.
Can you throw a little light on?
I mean, I have male friends who have had babies, and I know the toll it took on them.
Yeah.
Like, this guy, he didn't sleep for days, for nights. Do you understand? Because, I mean, the wife had a CS, and he had to take care of both the wife and the child, and also try to get maybe their parents to come around and also help, because, I mean, it's his first time. Do you understand? So it's easy for men to be ignored, and it's because society has already placed that responsibility. So, I mean, you're supposed to do this. So, like, I mean, if you don't do it, who will do it
Who
for
will?
you?
You understand?
And honestly, nobody will do it for you. But then it's like when, for instance, now you pay your child's school fees, you're supposed to pay it. But it will mean something to you if the child comes to you like at the end of the day, oh, daddy, thank you for paying my school fees. Because sometimes you don't know what somebody goes through to raise money to
Yeah.
do stuff for you. It's true that the woman carries the baby for the 9 months, goes through all the hormonal ups and downs and all the
Shout out to all the women.
and all the complications that comes with pregnancy. Women actually go through a lot during pregnancy,
bro.
and even normal period safe, bro. I used to tell my people that in my next world I'll still be a man, because I don't know what God put inside it, because their pain threshold, what they can endure. This one, no be boys don't cry. I go cry if you put me for that kind of situation. But yeah, shout out to all the women, that sounded so quite bomb. Please make sure this doesn't show up in the editing. Shout out to all the women, like they are real life superheroes. However, what we are saying is that most times when you ignore the inputs or the contributions of men, it makes the person feel less seen, and then especially if you're in a relationship with them, the more they do stuff for you and you don't appreciate or even recognize it, and you're just like, I mean, you're supposed to do this in the first place, so why are we talking about it? You start to feel like, I'm not being seen. And sometimes it takes a certain level of awareness for the man to realize this is what is making me drift away. Because you see that people that were once so in love, they just grow apart. And nobody has a trace of where that is coming from. It takes a certain level of awareness for you to see that, this is what I'm feeling. This is why I'm feeling this way. And this is how to address it. And there's some people where you try to address it, that's just how I am. Sorry. But yeah.
So it's very important to state this, that our women are very strong people.
Yeah.
We appreciate them, and we are not belittling the efforts of women, mothers, ladies. We'll never do that. What we're trying to say is, don't ignore men, don't ignore women. I mean, that's basically what we're saying. My last words, for every young, I'm still young, Sha. For every man out there, for every guy out there, whatever you're going through, just know that it is only temporary. It is okay to talk, bro. Do you understand? Don't die in silence. Don't do, I'll figure it out all by myself. No one is an island. That's why we have podcasts like this. And also try as much as you can to have a community of like-minded people. Stay close to God. In fact, hold God first.
Like Hulam.
Very important. Hold God first. And have a community of like-minded people that can always check up on you and tell you where you're wrong. Because I think most guys, some people don't like hearing the truth. You understand? So your inner circle would always check you. And you cannot be offended. You can't be offended. Bro, that thing where you do not make sense.
No make sense.
It will hurt you, but then you're like, but this is what I want. It's like, bro, this is what you did was wrong. And then, So you have people like that in your circle that can always check you. Bro, you'd go far.
Thank you so much, Jerry. Thank you for having this conversation with me. On my closing notes, I remember, I think in the month of August, I had about 3 different guys reach out to me, people that I know, how they've fallen into debt through gambling, and their businesses, whatever they had suffered. And I was glad that they were able to reach out to me. What I did was, first of all, depending on how they approached me, I preferred a solution. For one of them, I prayed with him because he was like, Omo, there's nothing really there to live for now, because he felt like that was the end. He was at that point, he was considering ending it all. So I shared a book with him, was titled Recovering from Gambling Addiction. I shared that book with him. I gave him some practical advice, because I've never really gambled before, so it's not something I can say I would share my experience with him, but from what I've learned from the people around and other aspects of life, I was able to share tips with him, and After a few weeks, he came back. He had read the book, and he had applied some of the things I said, and he was very glad. Now he's pushing his business,
That's
pushing
good.
his business back up. So I feel like when you speak to people, you can be able to hear things from different perspectives,
Yeah.
because when you're in a hole, you don't see escape routes that are way above. But when you reach out to people who are up there, they can tell you that, oh, this is what is here, and you can be able to figure out, okay, this is where I can start from and be able to deal with this. So to every struggling person out there, to every guy, I encourage you, this is not your best yet. The best version of you is yet to
Yet to
emerge.
come.
And I wrote in one of my newsletters last week that it takes a lot of courage to fight for your life. You have to, and the very first step is recognizing where you are, and then finding someone in your life to that you can depend on emotionally to share and pray with, get advice, learn, expand. Even if it's just for you to rant and just be heard, and then you don't want an advice, reach out to somebody. Do you understand? Because sometimes when people reach out to me, oh, and they finish venting, I'm like, oh, okay, do you want advice or do you just want to be heard?
Yeah.
Do you understand? So depend. If you say you want an advice, I'll give you an advice. If you just want to be heard, and you finish, we'll both breathe, and I'm like, wow.
That's a lot.
And we go our ways. Do you get? So thank you guys for listening through this particular episode.
Thank
My
you.
name is Jason Owe. You can call me the River.
Mazio Bosch. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and subscribe.
If you have questions or you have things that you would like for us to discuss in our next
Yep.
episode, we will like to come through for you. Please like,
Exactly.
share, subscribe, and see you in our next video. Like I say, to-dos.
Peace.
Right. Okay, this is Millennial Peace.